seats down at the front. Anyone who's just coming in, if you'd like to come down to the front, make it nice and cosy, you'll be more than welcome. Okay, day one of conference, and I know we've already had a fairly busy day and you've all worked very hard. But welcome to all of you Green Party members and others to our panel discussion this evening, Crisis in the Eurozone, Crisis in the UK. I'm not sure if all of you know, but at last autumn conference, members voted overwhelmingly to affiliate to the Coalition of Resistance, a broad, united national campaign against cuts and privatisation in our workplaces, in our communities and in our welfare services. An organisation seeking to coordinate resistance, to supplement, not supplant, trade union, student, pensioner and community organisations. Vehemently opposed to all proposals to solve the economic crisis by discrimination or scapegoating on the grounds of disability, race, religion, ethnic origin, gender, age, sexual orientation or identity. No surprise then that Greens were happy to say yes to an affiliation to Coalition of Resistance. The gap between rich and poor continues to increase, and the economic alternatives are not commanding the media attention required for general consideration by members of the public. With the bigger three political parties seeming to merge into consensus on how to tackle the economic crisis, any alternatives are seen as radical and perhaps dangerous. Of course, the crisis is not restricted to Britain. Across Europe, millions of ordinary people have been involved in demonstrations and strikes. And here in Britain, the TUC organised the March of the Alternative in March 2011, where 500,000 joined together on London's streets. Many were inspired by the student actions, the 50,000 on the NUS demo in November 2010, and several other student demos, occupations that happened, some of them without organised or legal sanction. In Greece and in Italy, without a shot being fired, the technocrats have replaced the democratically elected leaders. If the crisis caused by casino capitalism could be called the economics of the madhouse, then surely it could be said that the lunatics were now taking over the asylum. As the EU seems to be fighting a war on behalf of the bankers, and not the interests of the people, or in the interests of the planet, Coalition of Resistance is now extending our European links to those groups also fighting against austerity. We're supporting an initiative by Mikis Theodorikis, composer of Zorba's Dance, and Marilis Glissos, the veteran resistance fighter against Nazi occupation, renowned for having taken down the swastika from the Acropolis. Together and with others, they have an initiative to create a united, popular, democratic resistance in Greece, mirroring our own work here in Cornwall. Caroline Lucas is one of the initial signatories to the appeal for solidarity with the people of Greece. And people in Greece are definitely on the front line. What happens there today may be what happens here in the months or years ahead if we don't get organised, if we don't find a way of pushing those alternatives. The future for our young people across Europe is bleak currently. The figure of 1 in 4 unemployed is only an average, but it's worse in Ireland, Portugal and Italy, and worse still again in Spain and Greece. Barroso, the President of the European Commission, has requested 82 billion euros for youth job creation. But still, although they're looking for job creation, looking for some answers there is still no serious consideration of any such thing as a Green New Deal. The social and political forces that are capable of building towards a radical alternative to the current austerity measures are only just now really beginning to emerge. And we must be actively engaged in this work. As we build alliances, as we forge solidarities, can we end austerity, defeat racism, stop war, and save our planet? I welcome tonight to our panel, which will be followed by contributions and questions from the floor, which I'm sure many of you have thoughts to share. We welcome James Medway. He's Senior Economist working at the New Economics Foundation. Maeve McDade, thank you very much for joining us tonight. President of the Liverpool Guild of Students, also an MA student here in Liverpool, and has a long history of activism for free education and freedom for Palestine. And Chris Boff, Assistant General Secretary, PCS. He has worked on many green issues within Parliament, with the campaign against the Climate Change Trade Union Group and the Million Climate Jobs Project, and many other issues where we have worked together before.